Good morning. Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving. Let us shout joyfully to him with psalms. For the Lord is the great God and the great King above all gods. In his hand are the deep places of the earth. The heights of the hills are his also. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. Psalm 95, verses 1 through 7. William Barclay writes, I remember once doing some work for the Royal Army Chaplains Department in Germany and going to a place called Ostenwald, where there was a church house in which excellent work was being done. And when I was there, I remember being thrilled because the bed in which I slept had once been, as he then was, General Montgomery's bed. And I remember still another thing. I remember playing football once, and the jerseys on this occasion had been lent to us by a famous Scottish football club. And I remember the thrill of pulling over my head a jersey which had often been worn by the captain of Scotland, and which bore his number in the team upon it. What gives these things their special thrill? The special thrill, of course, lay in the fact that each of these occasions gave to me, a very ordinary person, a contact with greatness, however distant and remote. This is the idea which lies behind museums and houses which have been preserved and which we can visit because some famous person lived there. To look at old relics, sometimes even to touch and handle them, to visit such houses and to go into such rooms, gives to ordinary people a contact with greatness, and such a contact is always a thrill. And for the Christian, such a contact is always possible. Every time we enter a church building and worship there, we are putting ourselves in touch with the saints and the heroes and the prophets and the martyrs. We can say to ourselves, I belong to that fellowship to which those who loved and died for their faith in every age and generation belonged. For the Christian, this contact with greatness is even more universal. We live in the world which is the work of God. The men and women amongst whom we live and move are the children of God. The world in which we live is the handiwork of God. Everywhere we go, we can say, here is God. What about you today? Do you realize that each day you live, you are coming into contact with sheer greatness, not only because of the fact that the God of creation created the world you are experiencing, but even more importantly, he created you in his image? Why not pause and realize just how blessed you are to walk through a great world with the great God who made it? This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. As we experience this holiday season, it is my prayer that you and your family will be safe as you travel, that God will bless you with some wonderful times of fellowship with family and friends, and that God will use you in a personal way to bless the life of another. Then, as this holiday season concludes and life gets back into a familiar routine, please remember that every day is about Jesus. If we at the Church Street Church of Christ can help lead you to know more about him, not just about his miraculous birth, but also about his life, his teachings, his ministry with people, his cruel death, his burial, his amazing resurrection, and his promise to one day come again to reward those who are faithful to him each day, please call on any of us at the Church Street Church of Christ at 359-3597. You may also check out our website for more information and contact details at www.churchst.org. We are willing to help you in your walk with God at any time, day or night, for there is no other relationship as vital as this one, because this is the only relationship you will ever have that has eternal consequences. Remember, God loves you, and so do we.